Hello, students. Welcome to GTC. So we are talking about in the last sessions we are talking about biochemistry topic, that is carbohydrates. So basically, if I will briefly summarize what we have learned by till this video is, first we learned about what is carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are basically mixture of polyhydroxyaldehyde and polyhydroxy ketones. And these carbohydrates are basically classified into three major classes. One is monosaccharide, one is oligosaccharide may be disaccharide or trisaccharide, and polysaccharides. Last we in the last video we have talked about monosaccharides. So in the today's lecture, we will basically deal with the disaccharide class. So basically, we will deal with the disaccharide class. Okay, so let's start. So disaccharide means there will be a mixture of two monosaccharides. So two monosaccharide when combined with a combine with each other by specific type of linkage. We'll talk about, like if I'll talk about maltose have alpha 1,6 linkage. So question always asked from here. So what is the linkage present in that particular disaccharide? So that you have to remember. So let's talk about maltose. So maltose is composed of two alpha D glucose. Here two glucose molecule, alpha glucose molecules are combined to each other. They are combining, like this is one, if I show you, this is one alpha glucose and this is one alpha glucose. So they are held together by alpha 1,4 leakage. Alpha 1,4 leakage. That means one alpha carbon from one glucose is linked with fourth C4 of another D-glucose molecule. That is, and this is basically a glycosidic bond. So which type of bond? Basically this is a glycosidic bond. So oxygen formation, I have last class we are talking about oxygen formation. So oxygen formation, basically what happens when glucose react with polyhydroxyhydrazine. Okay, polyhydroxyhydrazine in the presence of acetic acid. The first two carbon, C1 and C2 carbon, basically involved in the oxygen formation. So maltose, which type of oxygen it will show? Maltose will show sunflower shaped oxygen. Remember, maltose will show sunflower oxygen on which carbon? On C1, first carbon. Okay, maltose can be hydrolyzed by dilute acid or the enzyme to liberate two molecules of alpha D glucose. So see, if we'll hydrolyze the maltose with the help of dilute acid or any enzyme, you will get the parent compound. That is, parent compound is two molecule of alpha D glucose. Two molecule of alpha D glucose basically joined together by alpha 1,4 linkage. Okay, so in isomaltose, isomaltose is a isomer of maltose. The glucose will held together by alpha 1,6. So question कभी कभी पूछ सकता है, like what is the major difference between alpha maltose and isomaltose? So in maltose you will find alpha 1,4 glycosidic bond. Maltose में you will find alpha 1,4 glycosidic bond, whereas in case of isomaltose you will get alpha 1,6 linkage. So this is the basic difference between these two, maltose and isomaltose. Okay, so next is sucrose. Sucrose is basically called as cane sugar. So sucrose basically known as cane sugar. So this is made up of sucrose is also a disaccharide. This is made up of, listen, alpha D glucose and beta D fructose. So what is the parent compound of sucrose? Sucrose is basically made up of alpha D glucose and beta D fructose. So they are held together by glycosidic alpha 1 beta 2 bond. So remember, so your sucrose is basically made from alpha D glucose, alpha D glucose and beta D fructose. Clear? Uh, this is held together by alpha D glucose and beta D fructose, and this bond which joins these two is glycosidic alpha 1 beta 2 bond. Sucrose is a non-reducing sugar. So what is reducing sugar? What is non-reducing sugar? I have discussed in the last class. So again I am repeating. So reducing sugar means if there is free aldehyde or ketone groups are present, we call it as a reducing sugar. If free aldehyde and ketone group not present, we call it as a non-reducing sugar. So it is the important source of dietary fibers. So sucrose is one of the important source in case of dietary fibers. In case of dietary fibers, you will find sucrose in a large amount. It is more sweet. It is more sweeter than glucose, lactose, and maltose. So remember this, if we'll compare the sweetness of this sucrose with other sugar glucose other sugar molecules, so it will more sweeter than glucose, lactose, and maltose. The intestinal enzyme called sucrase hydrolyze the sucrose to glucose and fructose, which are absorbed. So basically you might heard about a compound called sucralose. Sucralose. So what is this sucralose? Basically, it is sucralose is a compound which basically used in case of constipation. So if you have constipation, this agent is given. So this agent basically what it will do is in the intestine area, it won't absorb. It will reside in the intestinal area and increase the water content of the stool. That helps in softening the stool and um, remove the stool from the body. So sucralose basically act against constipation. So sucralose is a derivative of sucrose. Okay. Then we have talked about maltose. We talked about sucrose. Now we'll talk about lactose. So what is lactose? So lactose basically we called it as a milk sugar. So in milk sugar basically present and disaccharide found in the milk. It is composed of beta D galactose and beta D glucose. Remember, what are the linkage present in a particular compound and what are their monomer unit? You have to remember because question can be asked like lactose contains which type of linkage. So lactose basically contains beta 1,4 linkage. So what type of linkage lactose basically contains? Lactose contains beta 1,4 linkage, and lactose basically composed of two units, that is beta D galactose and beta D glucose. Two major unit lactose basically contains. One is beta D galactose, another one is beta D glucose. Okay, it has reducing property. It has a reducing property. As I told you, the compound which have free aldehyde groups, they show reducing property. So it has reducing property and it show osagon or powder shape, powder pop type of uh, Osajon so. So you might have about one disease called lactose intolerance. Okay, you might have heard about this. That is lactose intolerance. Let me write. What is that? Lactose intolerance. So what basically it is? Lactose intolerance is a conditions where there is a deficiency of a enzyme, that is enzyme which what that particular enzyme basically do. So that particular enzyme, that is lactase. So what basically it is do? It helps in breakdown of lactose. What it do is it helps in breakdown of lactose. So in some of the cases, this enzyme is absent. That's why they are intolerance to lactose or milk products. So lactose intolerance basically occurs due to this reason. Next is lactulose. Lactulose is a synthetic disaccharide which is composed of galactose and fructose. It is a synthetic polysaccharide, a synthetic disaccharide which is basically composed of galactose एंड फ्रुक्टोज गैलेक्टोज एंड फ्रुक्टोज से मिलके बना होता है एंड इट इज बेसिकली यूज्ड इन केस ऑफ हेपाटिक एनसेफेलोपैथी दिस इज ए कंडीशन hepatic encephalopathy. So basically what it is do is it reduce the ammonia level, it reduces NH3 level in case of hepatic encephalopathy. So in case of hepatic encephalopathy, what it is basically doing is it basically reduces the ammonia level. Okay, I hope everyone is clear up to this. So first we talked about maltose. Maltose is composed of alpha D glucose, alpha D 2 unit of alpha D glucose joined together by alpha 1 4 leakage. What type of oxygen formation it will show? It will show sunflower side oxygen formation. So in second we talked about sucrose. Sucrose is a cane sugar which is joint of alpha D glucose and beta D fructose and joined together by glycosidic alpha 1 and beta 2 bond. Then this is sucralose is a non-reducing sugar, so it doesn't produce any osazones. Then we talked about lactose. Lactose is so powder puffs of osazone. They are composed of beta D galactose and beta D glucose held together by beta 1,4 linkage. Which type of linkage? We check the beta 1,4 linkage. We composed of beta D galactose and beta D glucose. Okay, then lactulose. Lactulose basically composed of galactose and fructose, and it is used in case of hepatic encephalopathy. So hepatic encephalopathy, what it is to basically it is reduces the ammonia level. Okay. Next we'll talk about starch. Starch, dextrin, these are polysaccharides. So these starch, dextrin, all these are comes under polysaccharides. So starch, let's talk about starch. Starch is, as I told you, as I told you, glycogen is a storage form of glucose in case of human. Okay, starch is a storage form of carbohydrate in case of plant. In plants, starch is act as a storage molecule of carbohydrate. This is a homopolymer composed of D-glucose joined together by a glycosidic linkage. What it is indicating, what it is composed of a D-glucose. ये D-glucose का पॉलीमर है and एक दूसरे से joint हुए by glycosidic linkage. So composed of question have been asked from this line. Once this question has already asked. Question asked is, what is the water soluble form of starch? What is water insoluble starch form of starch? So water soluble, it is composed of two units, that is water soluble amylase and water insoluble amylopectin. So water soluble unit is called as amylose, which is 15 to 20%. Uh, water soluble part is called amylose, which contains 15 to 20%, whereas water insoluble, that is amylopectin. Okay, water soluble amylose 15 to 20% and water insoluble amylopectin. So starch are hydrolyzed by enzyme called amylase. So in case of amylase, in amylase basically called present in pancreas and salivary. So this liberate dextrin and finally maltose and glucose unit. So amylase enzyme basically acts on the alpha 1,4 linkage. Alpha 1,4 linkage. So question, what is important from this compound is starch. First you have to remember starch is a storage form of carbohydrate in case of plant. This is a homopolymer because I told you na polysaccharides basically two types, homopolysaccharide and heteropolysaccharide. Starch is a homopolysaccharide. It is a homopolysaccharide of beta D glucose, D glucose. Okay, so D glucose joined together by means of glycosidic linkage. So this starch has two unit. One is water soluble unit, another one is water insoluble unit. The water soluble unit is called as amylose, and water insoluble unit is called as amylopectin. Okay, so how you will remember which one is water soluble and which one is water insoluble? There is a trick. So like if I'll write amylopectin, लास्ट में in है, तो in stands for insoluble. So you can remember like this, amylopectin is water insoluble. Okay, amylose is water soluble. Okay, next. Next is dextrin. So dextrin is a breakdown product of starch. So dextrin, what basically dextrin is? Dextrin is a breakdown product of starch. Starch का ये एक breakdown product है. Okay, soluble starch like blue. Soluble starch is blue. Amylodextrin is violet. Erythrodextrin is red, and archodextrin. These are basically intermediates of dextrin. So starch, amylodextrin, and these are the intermediates. So not the soluble starch. Soluble starch is the intermediate. Starch का inter starch का part है dextrin. Soluble starch is a intermediate of dextrin. Okay, soluble starch, amylodextrin, violet amylodextrin, erythrodextrin, and acrodextrin. So these are intermediate. Next, talk about dextran. So dextran is used at, you might have heard about plasma volume expander. For suppose whenever in your body the fluid density is reduced, like in case of shock, in case of burn. Okay, your fluid, your we call it as a fluid overload, fluid value. So fluid when decrease, what we gave is we gave plasma volume expander. It will increase the volume of the plasma. So dextran is basically used as a plasma volume expander in case of transfusion and chromatography like gel filtration. So its concentration used is, remember, 5%. 5% solution is used in case for transfusion purposes. So 5% of 5% of dextran basically used in case of transfusion purposes. So inulin. So one thing, whenever you once I think GPAT 2021, I think, or 20, the one question has asked is, what is the difference between insulin and inulin? So remember, insulin is a hormone, but inulin is a polysaccharide. What basically it is do is, what is basically it is used for the measurement of GFR. What it is used is glomerular filtration rate. So glomerular filtration rate is a parameter which basically elucidate um, the effect of kidney, like the state of kidney. So normal GFR is 180 ml per minute. Okay, if the value is reduced, it indicates that the percentage of kidney damage basically increase. When it is like 40 to 60, its value is 40 to 60, like in that time do uh, you have to do that means the kidney has the both the kidney has completely damaged. Okay. Next is glycogen. Glycogen is, it is animal source. As I told you, it is the storage form. Storage form of carbohydrate. कार्बोहाइड्रेट का ये स्टोरेज फॉर्म है. ओके, एनिमल स्टार्च इज ए स्टोरेज फॉर्म ऑफ कार्बोहाइड्रेट, ग्लाइकोजन. Carbohydrate in case of animal, it is present in high concentration in liver, followed by muscle and brain. Glycogen is also found in plants that does not contain chlorophyll, like yeast. In case of yeast and fungi, glycogen also present. Okay, next talk about cellulose. Cellulose is a predominantly constituent of plant cell wall. As I told you, plant cell wall is cell membrane. After that, cell wall is there. So that particular cell wall is composed of cellulose and completely absent in human. So it is completely absent in case of human. Cellulose is composed of beta D glucose linked together by beta 1,4 glycosidic linkage. So it is composed of beta D glucose and it is joined together by beta 1,4 linkage. Cellulose cannot be digested by mammals, including man, due to lack of the enzyme which cleaves the beta glycosidic bonds. So hydrolysis of cellulose yields a disaccharide cellobiose followed by beta D glucose. It is the major constituent of fiber. It is majorly present in fiber, the non-digestible carbohydrate. The function of the dietary fiber includes decreasing the absorption of glucose, cholesterol from the intestine, besides increased bulk of process. So this basically given in case of constipation, as I discussed previously in case of sucralose. So these also given as a stool softener. So what basically do is, if this basically increases the water content of stool so that it could be easily come out from the body in case of constipation cases. Okay, so that's all about carbohydrate polysaccharides. So last is what we have discussed is these all are homopolysaccharides. Sorry, homo. All these are homopolysaccharides. Okay, all these whatever we discuss here is all these are homopolysaccharides. So now this table basically will discuss about heteropolysaccharides. So heteropolysaccharide like hyaluronic acid is composed of basically D-glucuronic acid. So I have discussed you when there is a oxidation of glucose, the oxidation in the last class we have talked about, sorry, reduction of glucose. So sorry, oxidation of glucose. So glucose oxidation, if the aldehyde group is oxidized, then what will get we will get gluconic acid, whereas in case of the terminal alcohol group will oxidize, we will get glucuronic acid. So glucuronic acid, if a question will ask glucuronic acid, how the glucuronic acid will obtained. So when the terminal glucose, terminal alcohol moiety get oxidized, that will get gluconic acid and N-acetylglucosamine. This is basically where is distribution. It is basically present in connective tissue. Majorly, it is present in your synovial fluid. So in your joint fluid, it is majorly present and vitreous humor. Next is function serves as it is basically majorly served as a lubricant and shock absorb promotes wound healing. Wound healing also promote करता है. Next is chondroitin sulfate. Chondroitin sulfate is basically present composed of D-glucuronic acid, N-acetylglucosamine, 4-sulfate. It is basically present in your cartilage. Where it is basically present? It basically present in your cartilage, in your bone, in your skin, in your blood vessel wall. It helps to maintain the structure. Basically, what it is to is it present provides a structural support to that or particular organs. Next is heparin. Heparin, you know this is very important. Heparin is a endogenous anti coagulant. So it basically act as a anticoagulant. Blood coagulation को ये prevent करता है. So it is composed of 2-gluconate 2 sulfate and glucosamine 6 sulfate. It is basically present in your bloods, lung, liver, kidney, spleen. So it is act as a anticoagulant. So what is the antidote of heparin? Once question has asked. So antidote of heparin poisoning is protamine sulfate. Remember. So antidote for heparin poisoning is protamine sulfate. Okay, if there is a overdose of heparin, you can give injection of protamine sulfate. Then dormatan sulfate, dormatan sulfate is L-iduric acid and N-acetyl galactosamine 4 sulfate. Okay, this is dormatan sulfate composed of. This is present in the blood vessels, heart valves, and skin. So maintenance of the shape of the tissue. Then keratin sulfate is present in your hair, cartilage, connective tissues, cornea, and which keeps the cornea transparent. Keratin basically present in this particular area. Okay, so now we have talked about what are the major. We have talked about what are the major part of carbohydrates, that is polysaccharides, oligosaccharides and monosaccharides. Now we will basically learn about how this compound will get metabolized, because what is the major role of carbohydrate is to provide energy. Okay, so what is the major role of carbohydrate is it has to provide energy. So where this energy will, how this energy will get? So this energy will get by metabolism of sugars. So this sugar can be metabolized by several pathways. I have summarized all these pathway in this table. So we will detail discuss about the important pathway here, and in this table we will summarize all the pathway. So first one is glycolysis, very well known pathway. It is also known as Emden-Meyerhof pathway. This is basically oxidation of glucose to pyruvate and lactate. So here what basically occurs, oxidation of glucose and to pyruvate and lactate. During this oxidation, what we will get? We will get energy. So we will get basically 8 ATP. So in case of, I will discuss in detail. So in case of aerobic condition, pyruvate will produce. In case of anaerobic condition, lactate will produce. So in case of aerobic Aerobic condition 8 ATP will produce. In case of anaerobic condition 2 ATP will produce. Okay, similarly citric acid cycle, also called as Krebs cycle, also called as TCA cycle, that is tricarboxylic acid cycle. So what basically it is occurs in this pathway is oxidation of acetyl coenzyme A. Acetyl coenzyme A get oxidized to carbon dioxide. So during this oxidation we will produce ATP, that is almost around 12 ATP will get. Krebs cycle is the final common oxidative pathway for, it is the final common oxidative pathway for carbohydrate, fats, amino acid through acetyl coenzyme. Next is gluconeogenesis. Gluconeogenesis. Genesis means synthesis. When there is a word called genesis, genesis means is synthesis. Gluco means glucose. Gluconeogenesis, if I'll complete this sentence, is synthesis of glucose from non-carbohydrate sources, not from carbohydrate. It is from non-carbohydrates, like it can be from like your amino acids, it can be glycerol, anything, but not a glucose. If the synthesis of glucose from non-carbohydrate source occurs, this is called as gluconeogenesis. This basically occurs in case of prolonged fasting condition. Prolonged fasting कंडीशन, इफ आपका बॉडी बहुत टाइम तक फास्टिंग कंडीशन में रह रहा है, दैट विल एक्टिवेट योर ग्लूकोनियोजेनेसिस. नेक्स्ट इज ग्लाइकोजेनेसिस. देखो, जेनेसिस मींस सिंथेसिस, genesis means synthesis. Glycogenesis, glyco means glycogen, glycogenesis means synthesis of formation of glycogen from glucose. नेक्स्ट इज ग्लाइकोजेनोलाइसिस. लाइसिस जब आ जाता है, दैट लाइसिस मीन्स ब्रेक डाउन. ग्लाइकोजेनोलाइसिस मीन्स ब्रेक डाउन ऑफ ग्लाइकोजेन टू ग्लूकोज. इट इज मीन्स द ब्रेक डाउन ऑफ ग्लाइकोजेन टू ग्लूकोज. नेक्स्ट इज HMP shunt. HMP shunt is hexose monophosphate shunt. It is a pentose hexose monophosphate shunt. This is also called as pentose phosphate pathway or direct oxidative pathway. This pathway is a alternative to glycolysis. This pathway is basically alternative to glycolysis and TCA cycle for the oxidation of glucose to directly carbon dioxide and water. So HMP shunt is a pathway that basically it acts as an alternative pathway to glucose and glucose as alternative pathway to glycolysis and TCA cycle. What basically occurs in this cycle is oxidation of glucose directly to carbon dioxide and water. Next is uronic acid pathway. Uronic acid pathway is glucose is converted to glucuronic acid and pentosis and pentosis acid in some animals to ascorbic acid, not in human. This pathway is also alternative to oxidative pathway glucose. Next is galactose metabolism, the pathway concerned with conversion of galactose to glucose and the synthesis of lactose. Okay, this is a galactose metabolism pathway. Next is fructose metabolism pathway. In case of fructose converted to pyruvate and their relationship between fructose and glucose metabolism. Next is amino sugar and mucopolysaccharide metabolism. This synthesis of amino sugar and other sugar for the treatment of mucopolysaccharide and glycoprotein. Treatment of mucopolysaccharide and glycoprotein. Let's summarize all the things. So these are the pathway of metabolism of carbohydrate. In glycolysis, there is oxidation of glucose takes place to produce pyruvate and lactate. Then TCA cycle, acetyl coenzyme A converted to carbon dioxide. In gluconeogenesis, synthesis of glucose from the non-carbohydrate sources. In case of glycogenesis, synthesis of glycogen from the glucose. Again, glycogenolysis, breakdown of glycogen to glucose. HMP salt, this is an alternative pathway to uric acid, citric acid cycle and glycolysis. What will basically occur? The oxidation of glucose directly to carbon dioxide and water. Then uronic pathway, this is also alternative pathway for the synthesis of gluconic acid, pentosic acid. Galactose metabolism, there is the metabolism of galactose to glucose and the synthesis of lactose. Fructose maker metabolism, in case of fructose will metabolized, amino sugar and mucopolysaccharide metabolism. Okay, let's see, there are two in the pathway can majorly divided into two parts. One is oxidative pathway and second one is synthetic pathway. So in the oxidative pathway, what are the pathway that comes under oxidative pathway is your glycolysis is a oxidative pathway, your HMP shunt is a oxidative pathway, your urinic acid is oxidative pathway. And what is your synthetic pathway? Synthetic pathway, that is your metabolism of galactose and fructose, that comes under synthetic pathway. Synthesis of glycogenesis, this is your synthetic pathway. Synthesis of lipogenesis, that is synthesis of fat. This is fat. This is also comes under synthetic pathway. And non-essential amino acid synthesis, from glucose to non-essential amino acid synthesis, glucose from non-essential amino acids. So this also comes under synthetic pathway. So blood sugar level. So blood sugar level, you have to know that in case of normal fasting blood sugar is 80 to 100. Okay, just if you just eat, then your blood sugar will be 170 to 200. Then after 2 hours it will be 120 to 40. So that's why the always whenever you might had about test one or two major test, blood sugar we do uh, ppbs and fps. Fps stands for fasting blood sugar, and ppbs is post prandial blood sugar. So you might see that you might have seen that whenever a person is suffering from diabetics, when the pathologist take the blood first, he or she will take blood in empty stomach, and he will tell, take the meal. Whenever you take the meal, just after the 2 hour, you will have to give the another sample, because after whenever you ate something, your sugar surge is there. So after 2 hours, it automatically comes to normal. If you are diabetic, it will automatically show you have high blood sugar. Okay, so in case of pre-diabetic, 101 to 125, 190 to and 140 to 160 in case of FBS. In diabetic case, more than 126 and more than 200 is called as diabetic. So majorly remember, one question has asked is blood human in case of human, blood sugar is regulated by which organ? If someone asks your blood sugar is regulated by your which organ, so remember, liver is a important organ which basically regulate the regulate the blood sugar level. So what it is do? So it basically regulate your blood sugar level. Which organ? Liver. Okay. Next. So how the glucose? So now, so metabolism means the metabolism will be the entry of glucose. So glucose has to be entered for the metabolism. So entry of glucose basically occurs in two pathways. One is insulin independent transport of glucose, and another one is insulin dependent transport of glucose. So insulin independent means, so there will be no involvement of insulin, no involvement of insulin. So there will be no involvement of insulin for the transportation. So this is a carrier mediated uptake of glucose, which is not depend upon the hormone insulin. So it is not depend upon. So question can be asked, insulin is secreted from which organ? It basically secreted from beta cells of pancreas. So pancreas has three major cells. So alpha cells, what will secrete? Alpha cells secrete glucagon, and delta cells secrete somatostatin. So remember, three different hormones synthesized from the different part of different part of pancreas. So pancreas one is insulin dependent transport system. So that it basically causes entry of glucose. So in that insulin independent system, there is no involvement of insulin. So this pathway basically carried out in case of hepatocytes, erythrocytes, and red. Question can be asked. Insulin independent pathway basically uh, basically carried out in which organs? Majorly your hepatocyte means liver, erythrocyte and brain. Another one is insulin dependent system. So insulin dependent system basically carried out in the muscle and adipose tissue. So it basically carried out in case of your muscle and adipose tissue. In case of muscle and adipose tissue, basically your insulin dependent entry of glucose takes place. Now we will talk detail about glycolysis. So in this session we'll talk about what is glycolysis, what is the basically the steps of glycolysis, what are the enzyme involved, what is their importance. All the things will be covered this. So like what is glycolysis? So initially when we summarize all the table, I told you that glycolysis means that is a oxidation of glucose. Glucose का oxidation है to produce two major compound. One is pyruvate, another one is lactate. So two major compound is produced from glucose. From glucose, you will get two major compound. One is pyruvate in case of aerobic condition means ऑक्सीजन के प्रेजेंस में and lactate in case of anaerobic condition. एरोबिक कंडीशन में पायरुवेट फॉर्मेशन होता है एंड एनारोबिक कंडीशन में लैक्टेट फॉर्मेशन होता है. सो ग्लाइकोलिस इज डिफाइंड एज ए रिएक्शन दैट इज कन्वर्शन ऑफ ग्लूकोज to pyruvate or lactate. So either it will converted to pyruvate or it will converted to lactate. So in case if the oxygen is present, then pyruvate will be formed. If the oxygen is absent, then lactate will be formed with the production of ATP. So by during this oxidation, ATP will be produced depending upon the presence or absence of oxygen. It is carried out in cell cytoplasm. It is very important question asked. What is the location of glycolysis? So glycolysis बेसिकली आपके सेल के साइटोप्लाज्म में कैरिड आउट होता है क्योंकि द मोस्ट ऑफ द एंजाइम दैट रिक्वायर्ड फॉर दिस that required for this required for this process, basically your uh, uh, glycolysis process, they are basically located in the cell cytoplasm. So this process is present in cytoplasmic fraction of the cell. Glycolysis is a major pathway for ATP synthesis in case of tissue lacking mitochondria. Like glycolysis, it is also major pathway of ATP synthesis. Because as we discussed, mitochondria is your major organ for the synthesis of ATP. So those organ which is lack of having no mitochondria in their structure, in that case, glycolysis is the major metabolism pathway of glucose in that particular tissue. So what are these tissue? One is your erythrocyte, means your RBC, your cornea, and your lens. Okay, remember you can get a question from here. Next, Next is glycolysis is very essential in brain. It is very essential in brain, which is depends on glucose for energy. Okay, so the glucose in the brain has undergo glycolysis before it is oxidized to carbon dioxide and water. Glycolysis in anaerobic, that I already told you, in aerobic condition, that is absence of oxygen, 2 lactate and 2 ATP will form. In case of oxidative pathway or in presence of oxygen, that is pyruvate form with 8 ATP is produced. In case of anaerobic condition, 2 ATP is produced. So remember, question can be asked from what is the number of ATP can be produced. That can also ask in the exam. Okay, so glycolysis is a central metabolic pathway of its intermediate, providing branch points to point the pathway. Thus, the intermediate of glycolysis is useful in the amino acid synthesis. I will tell you in the upcoming slides how the intermediates that forms during glycolysis that can be used in case of synthesis of amino acid and fat. So remember, for the synthesis of amino acids and fat, sorry, this intermediate that forms during glycolysis that can be act as a precursor for the synthesis of amino acid and fats. So reversal of glycolysis. So if and remember one process which name is gluconeogenesis. gluconeogenesis. So what gluconeogenesis basically is, gluconeogenesis means there is a synthesis of glucose from non-carbohydrate sources. Okay, gluconeogenesis. So gluconeogenesis is just reverse of reverse of glycolysis. So if the glycolysis is flow in a upward direction, upward to downward direction. If I will eat this, gluconeogenesis will from downwards to upward direction. Same reaction will be there. So with minute changes in their reaction. So exactly the opposite of glycolysis is gluconeogenesis. Okay. So a reversal. I have to, so next in the next, let's discuss like glycolysis in the erythrocytes leads to formation of lactate. In the erythrocyte glycolysis will result in lactate formation since mitochondria is the center for the aerobic oxidation. So as you know that why lactate formation is there. So what is the logic behind this? As I told you, erythrocytes is lack of mitochondria. Okay, erythrocyte is lack of mitochondria. If mitochondria is there, then energy will be produced. Otherwise, no energy will be produced. So no oxygen will be there. So that's why in from the glycolysis in erythrocyte, lactate will be formed. Okay. So next is lactic acidosis. So what is lactic acidosis? Lactic acidosis means there is a accumulation of lactic acid. Accumulation of lactic acid. So mild form of lactic acidosis are basically associated with if we'll do strenuous exercise, if we are doing vigorous exercise, in case of shock, in case of respiratory disease, in case of cancer, low pyruvate dehydrogenase activity in बॉर्न ग्रेग्स disease, इस केस में लैक्टिक एसिडोसिस का अमाउंट बॉडी में accumulate हो जाता है. But severe form of lactic acidosis basically observed due to impairment or collapse of your circulatory system, which is encountered in basically कौन सी कंडीशन में आपको देखने के लिए मिलता है, इन केस ऑफ myocardial infarction, in case of pulmonary embolism, in case of uncontrolled hemorrhage and severe shock. ये केस में आपका हाई लैक्टिक सीवियर फॉर्म ऑफ लैक्टिक एसिड आपको देखने के लिए मिलता है. सीवियर फॉर्म ऑफ लैक्टिक एसिड किस किस कंडीशन में देखने के लिए मिलता है? एक तो आपका हो गया मायोकार्डियल इंफ्रैक्शन, एक तो हो गया पल्मोनरी थ्रोम्बोएम्बोलिज्म, अनकंट्रोल्ड हेमोरेज, and in case of severe shock. So due to inadequate supply of oxygen to the tissue with drastic reduction in ATP synthesis, which basically gives to, which ultimately leads to death. So in case of severe lactic acidosis, death can be possible. So now let's discuss the steps of this glycolysis pathway in detail. So these all are steps. Okay, so first step is that it will start from the glucose. So first is glucose converted to glucose 6 phosphate by the presence called hexokinase. Or some in some book it also written is glucokinase. So glucokinase or hexokinase both are isoform of each other. Glucokinase and hexokinase both are isoform of each other. So glucose is converted to hexokinase or glucokinase in the presence of converted in the by the utilization of one ATP. Here one ATP is utilized. Next is glucose 6 phosphate is converted to fructose 6 phosphate. See here just glucose is converted to fructose. This is there is a isomerization takes place. One isomer is converted to another isomer. So glucose converted to glucose 6 phosphate converted to fructose 6 phosphate in the presence of phosphoglucoisomerase, in the presence of enzyme phosphoglucoisomerase. Now, fructose 6 phosphate will convert it to fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. Now, fructose 6 phosphate will convert it to fructose 1,6 phosphate in the presence of enzyme called phosphofructokinase. In the presence of enzyme phosphofructokinase, where by the utilization of 1 ATP. Now, here you can see these steps in this following step basically utilization of your energy takes place. In the further upcoming steps there will be see that this will be where energy will be generated, like from the so glucose converted to glucose 6 phosphate in the presence of enzyme hexokinase or glucokinase. ग्लूकोज 6 फॉस्फेट कन्वर्ट होता है फ्रुक्टोज 6 फॉस्फेट को इन द प्रेजेंस ऑफ एंजाइम फॉस्फोग्लूको आइसोमरेज. नाउ फ्रुक्टोज 6 फॉस्फेट कन्वर्ट होता है फ्रुक्टोज 1 6 बिस फॉस्फेट को इन द प्रेजेंस ऑफ एंजाइम फॉस्फोफ्रुक्टोकाइनेज. सो हियर इन बोथ step 1 and step 1 and step 3 in both the step ATP is getting utilized. ATP is getting utilized. Now, this from fructose 1,6 phosphate, two compound is formed. One is dihydroxyacetone phosphate, another one is glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. Two compound you will see in the presence of a enzyme fructose bis phosphate. ओके सो टू मेजर आपका एंजाइम आपका टू मेजर कंपाउंड फॉर्मेशन हो रहा है. यहाँ पे देखो क्या क्या फॉर्मेशन हो रहा है. वन इज डाई हाइड्रोक्सी एसीटोन फॉस्फेट, अनदर वन इज ग्लिसरॉल डिहाइड 3 phosphate. Here from here whatever you are steps are you are saying this will carried out in combination like in two times. So that's why this is symbol is 2x is written. So जो जो स्टेप्स यहाँ से होगा वो दो करके होता है. ठीक है, मतलब दो साइमल्टेनियसली दो कंपाउंड्स लाइक फ्रॉम द डाईहाइड्रो. व्हाई लाइक दैट? देखो क्यों ऐसा होता है. लाइक सी two compound is formed. One is dihydroxyacetone phosphate, another one is glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. So all the things you are seeing here, it will be convert from the glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. And यहाँ से क्या होता है, dihydroxyacetone phosphate can also converted to glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. Okay, now how many glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate you have found? One is here, which is directly formed from fructose 1,6 phosphate, and another one is here, which is converted from dihydroxyacetone phosphate. So you have two glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. That's why two reaction is simultaneously carried out from this pathway. Okay, so what is there from the glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate now converted to glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate dehydrogenase. Okay, like glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate will converted to 1,3 bis phosphoglycerate in the presence of the enzyme glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate dehydrogenase. So let me again explain you. Glucose first converted to glucose 6 phosphate in the presence of hexokinase or glucokinase with the utilization of energy. Now glucose 6 phosphate in converted to fructose 6 phosphate in the presence of phosphogluco isomerase. Now from fructose 6 phosphate converted to fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. So in the presence of enzyme phosphofructokinase, these three enzymes, that is glucokinase, phosphoglucoisomerase and phosphofructokinase, these three energy are basically reversible irreversible steps. So these three energy are basically irreversible, and these first three step is basically called as energy investment phase or priming stage. Now from fructose 1,6 phosphate two major compound are formed. One is dihydroxyacetone phosphate, दूसरा आपका क्या है, ग्लिसरॉल्डिहाइड 3 phosphate. So from dihydroxyacetone phosphate can converted to glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. So now two glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate you have found. So this reaction uh, uh, will be carried out in 2x, मतलब दो दो कंपाउंड करके फॉर्मेशन होगा. फ्रॉम द ग्लिसरॉल्डिहाइड 3 phosphate विल फाउंड 1,3 bis phosphoglycerate 1,3 bis phosphoglycerate in the presence of enzyme glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. Okay, so now this 1,3 bis phosphoglycerate again forms 3 phosphoglycerate, again form 3 phosphoglycerate. So now 3 phosphoglycerate converted to 2 phosphoglycerate in the presence of phosphoglycerate mutage. Now from 2 phosphoglycerate there is a conversion of phosphoenol pyruvate in the presence of enzyme called enolase. So remember why enolase enzyme is important is in the enolase state, basically your hydrolysis process takes place. So question can be asked, in which step water molecule is released from the glycolysis? Remember, from the conversion of 2-phosphoglycerate to phosphoenol pyruvate. Now from the phosphoenol pyruvate, pyruvate is formed in the presence of pyruvate kinase. So if oxygen or anaerobic condition is there, then there will be formation of lactate. So in the presence of enzyme, lactate dehydrogenase. Okay, so few point you have to remember that glucose 6 phosphate is impermeable to the cell membrane. So it is the central molecule. So glucose 6 phosphate is a central molecule in glycolysis, glycogenesis, gluconeogenesis, pentose phosphate pathway. Similarly, iodoacetate is जो glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate can be inhibited by iodoacetate and arsenate. Okay, and the enolase enzyme basically requires magnesium and it's inhibited by fluoride. So your enolase enzyme is inhibited by fluoride ions. For the blood glucose estimation laboratory, fluoride is added to the blood to prevent the glycolysis by the cell so that blood glucose is correctly estimated. This is very important. So which enzyme, a question can be asked for the estimation of blood glucose, which ion is added to the test to the tube of the blood for the prevention of glycolysis step, that is basically a fluoride ion. Which enzyme basically prevented by this process, that is your enolase enzyme. Okay, so this is all about glycolysis. Let me revise all the things. Glycolysis pathway once again: glucose converted to glucose 6 phosphate in the presence of hexokinase or glucokinase. Now glucose 6 phosphate converted to fructose 6 phosphate in the presence of phosphoglucoisomerase. Now fructose 6 phosphate converted to fructose 1,6 bisphosphate in the presence of phosphofructokinase. Now fructose 1,6 phosphate can converted to two major compound. One is glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate and one another one is glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. So one is dihydroxyacetone phosphate, another one is 3 glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. Now dihydroxyacetone phosphate can be converted to 3 glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. Now from the glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate, conversion of 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate in the presence of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase. From the 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate, 3-phosphoglycerate is formed. From the 3-phosphoglycerate, 2-phosphoglycerate is formed. From the 2-phosphoglycerate, phosphoenol pyruvate is formed. From the phosphoenol pyruvate, pyruvate is formed. This is all about your glycolysis. So let's see where the energy is basically produced. So see, one energy here, ATP, and one NADH is formed also here. Okay, another ATP is produced here. So you can see, how much ATP total produced. One NADPH is equal to, see, let me show you the calculation. One NADH is equal to 3 ATP. Okay, as I told you, all this reaction is carried out into 2x, matlab 2 times. So total we will get 2 NADPH. So total we will write like this. So net it 1 NADH per 1. So as this reaction is carried out in 2, so 2x में हो रहा है. So total how much ATP NADH will obtain? That is total 6 ATP. Okay, now here 2 ATP. From 1 ATP is produced from 1,3 bisphosphoglycerate, and from 1 is phosphoenol pyruvate to pyruvate. So total ATP 2 ATP. This is also 2x. So total ATP is 2 into 2. How much? It is 4 ATP. So total 4 ATP is produced. 6 plus 4 is total 10 ATP is produced during this glycolysis. So but I told you total number of ATP is 8. Why they are like that? You'll see. Here 1 ATP is utilized. Here 1 ATP will utilize this. So minus 2. So total net ATP is formed is 8 ATP. So 8 ATP is formed in case of aerobic condition. When pyruvate is formed, 2 ATP is formed in case of uh, anaerobic condition when lactate is formed. Okay. So let's see the energy, how much energy glycerol date 3-phosphate dehydrate 6 ATP, that is this is from NADPH. NADH. So from the phosphoglucokinase 2 ATP, 2 ATP. So from if will minus, so total will net ATP is 8. So in anaerobic condition 2 ATP will produce. So as I told you, hexokinase, your hexokinase, phosphofructokinase, and pyruvate kinase. These three are irreversible steps. So these three are basically your irreversible step in glycolysis. Hexokinase is basically inhibited by which enzyme? Glucose 6-phosphate. So by the enzyme called glucose 6-phosphate, inhibited by glucose 6-phosphate. So phosphofructokinase is an important enzyme. And remember which enzyme? One question has asked is which is rate limiting enzyme. What is the rate limiting enzyme in case of glycolysis? So remember, phosphofructokinase is the rate limiting enzyme. So phosphofructokinase is your rate limiting enzyme in case of glycolysis. This is very important. Question can be asked. Okay. So till now we have completed. So let's two major effect is there. One is Pasteur effect, one is Carpenter effect. What is that? So there are two major effect. One, if the inhibition of if the glycolysis is inhibited by the oxygen, if the glycolysis is inhibited by excess of oxygen, this is called as Pasteur effect. So question already एक बार जीपैट में वैसे यहाँ से क्वेश्चन पूछ चुका है. So Pasteur effect means inhibition of glycolysis in the presence of excessive oxygen. So it is inhibition of which क्वेश्चन के आपको ऐसे पूछ सकता है कि वही चीज अभी जैसे क्वेश्चन पूछ चुका है कि पास्चर इफेक्ट आपको पता है कि ऑक्सीजन के ओवर से होता है, तो क्वेश्चन पूछेगा कि which enzyme basically targeted in Pasteur effect. So remember phosphofructokinase. So phosphofructokinase is basically inhibited during your Pasteur effect. So the inhibitory effect of citrate and ATP on phosphofructokinase basically explains the Pasteur effect. So inhibitory effect जो आपका इनहिबिटरी इफेक्ट आपका जो होता है साइट्रेट और एटीपी का फॉस्फोप्रोकाइनेज, दैट इज बेसिकली इंडिकेट. नाउ सेकंड वन इज कार्बट्री इफेक्ट. सो कार्बट्री इफेक्ट मींस द फेनोमेनन ऑफ इनहिबिशन ऑफ ऑक्सीजन कंजप्शन. यहाँ पे ऑक्सीजन कंजप्शन ज्यादा हो रहा है इसलिए आपका ग्लाइकोलिसिस इनहिबिट हो रहा है. कार्बट्री इफेक्ट क्या बोलता है कि द फेनोमेनन ऑफ inhibition of oxygen consumption by the addition of glucose to the tissue having high aerobic glycolysis is known as Carpenter effect. So Carpenter effect is nothing but the phenomenon of inhibition of oxygen consumption. Oxygen consumption को inhibit करता है by the addition of glucose to the tissue. So Carpenter effect is just opposite to Pasteur effect. So Carpenter effect is nothing but it is opposite to Pasteur effect. So Carpenter effect is due to increased competition of glycolysis for inorganic phosphate and NAD, which limits their availability for the phosphorylation and oxidation. And last one is Laporte-Levert cycle. So Laporte-Levert cycle is a supplementary pathway to the glycolysis which occurs in the erythrocyte. So question आप पूछ सकता है कि Laporte-Levert cycle basically takes place in which organ or which part of your body, that is in erythrocyte of males and mammalian. This mainly consider पर इसमें basically क्या होता है, the synthesis of 2,3 bisphosphoglycerate. इसको शॉर्ट में 2,3 बीपीजी बोलते हैं. 2,3 बीपीजी, 2,3 bisphosphoglycerate. Okay, 2,3 bisphosphoglycerate basically produced. Okay, so this is all about glycolysis. So in what we have learned about glycolysis is a central oxidative pathway of glucose. So what basically occurs is glucose basically converted to oxidized to pyruvic acid and lactic pyruvate and lactate in the presence or absence of oxygen. So glycolysis basically carried out in your cell cytoplasm due to presence of the most of the important enzyme that involved in glycolysis present in the cell cytoplasm. Then glycolysis is the major pathway for ATP synthesis in case of tissue lacking of mitochondria like erythrocyte, cornea and lens. So glycolysis is very essential for the brain for the oxidation of glucose. Glycolysis is also the intermediate that present in some of the intermediate in the glycolysis is also involved in the involved in the synthesis of amino acids and fats. So one other process is there gluconeogenesis, which is just opposite of glycolysis. Okay, next is glycolysis is in the erythrocyte. Erythrocyte basically lactate formation takes place because due to lack of oxygen, due to lack of mitochondria. So so since the mitochondria is central aerobic oxidation, so they are absent in brain, retina, skin, and GIT for the most of the energy of glycolysis. Okay, lactic acidosis we discussed. Like lactic acidosis is one of the important condition where accumulation of acid takes place severely in case of like myocardial infarction, pulmonary embolism, uncontrolled hemorrhage, and severe shock. That is, in that case, basically lactic acidosis, basically overproduction there. So when we talk about cycles, glucose, how glucose converted to glucose 6 phosphate, to glucose 6 phosphate converted to fructose 6 phosphate, and all this is all the we have discussed all the steps of the glycolysis. Then see how then we have also seen that where the what is the energy where it is produced. So total 10 ATP is produced and 2 ATP is consumed. So total net ATP we get is that is 8 number of ATP. So we also talked about Pasteur effect and Carnot effect. Pasteur effect is the inhibition of glycolysis in the presence of ऑक्सीजन इज कॉल्ड एज पास्चर इफेक्ट सो बेसिकली आपका फॉस्फोफ्रुक्टोकाइनेज एंजाइम जो है वो इनहिबिट हो जाता है सो एंड कार्बोक्सी इफेक्ट व्हिच इज ऑपोजिट ऑफ द पास्चर इफेक्ट सो दिस phenomenon basically inhibition of oxygen consumption by addition of glucose to the tissue having high aerobic glycolysis that is called as Carpenter effects. So that's all for today. Next other cycles like gluconeogenesis, TCA cycle will be covered in the next video. Thank you.